You know Rishi Sunak. Eat out to help spread COVID and every worker's friend.
So to protect jobs, I'm announcing today that I'm expanding the job support scheme.
The once popular politician has shown how out of touch he is with the public, with a succession of faux pas as he did the rounds to defend his mini budget.
Just over £12,500 is the biggest increase in a tax threshold pretty much ever in British history. It's a £6 billion tax cut that will benefit 30 million people across the United Kingdom. I would imagine the vast majority of your listeners tonight. It's going to put £330 extra in their pockets.
And I'm making sure that I'm on people's side. And I'd say, judge me by my actions.
Here we see Rishi filling up a car with petrol, but it turned out it wasn't even his car, but one that he'd borrowed from a Sainsbury's worker. This is how Rishi usually gets around. Then it appeared that he didn't understand how contactless works. And finally, let's see some tone-deaf interview moments.
So I am a single parent to 2 children who on paper has a good job and what's considered a good salary, but unfortunately the rising costs of everything, especially energy, have now put an intense strain on my ability to provide for my children. The significant increase in our energy bill has meant that we don't have the boiler on. The lights are always off unless absolutely necessary, and when it's cold we wear jumpers and coats, and sometimes you can see our breaths when we breathe.
Finally, Chancellor, talking about Sainsbury's going to the supermarket, what is the one item when you hit the supermarket you've noticed going up in prices most? For me, it's crisps.
Oh, yes. Well, it's probably, I think bread, probably.
Now, despite working a full-time job, I'm having to find ways to bridge the gap.
Go on, how much has that gone up?
Well, the one that we buy, I'm sure now it's about £1.20 and it was about £1 from memory, but it was before. But
what is it out of interest?
I've started cleaning houses and I spend every evening riding a bike, delivering for Uber Eats.
What's your favourite loaf?
It's a Hovis, it's a kind of seeded thing.
I've managed to cut my grocery shop down to just £15 a week for an adult and 2 children, and I often go without myself to make sure the kids get what they need in their fed.
Well, we have a whole range of different, we all have different breads in my house. There's a degree of healthiness between my wife, myself and my kids.
A £150 grant towards energy bills, which have risen by an average of £2,000 a year, just isn't going to cut it.
As a country, we are asking taxpayers to fund the UK's support for Ukraine. We're asking people in the UK to give their homes up to Ukrainian refugees, whereas it appears your family potentially could be benefiting from Putin's regime.
No, I don't think that's the case. And as I said, the operations of all companies are up to them.
I've just about been able to balance things up until this point, but I'm now facing paying out more each month than I'm making.
I can't imagine how difficult your job is, right? I've got 2 kids as well, and I, have, as I said, obviously my wife and other helped with us, so enormous admiration for what you're doing, and it sounds like you're working your socks off to look after them. So, tribute to you.